Home office expenses. This is a constant changing thing from HMRC. Over the years, there have been a number of different ways to claim home office costs, or a number of different calculations. Let's look at the HMRC calculation, and then we can look at an extension beyond that. But again, you have to be very careful not to claim too much for lots of reasons. There is a fixed rule the revenue have. You're allowed to claim £6 per week for home office costs. Now that's irrelevant as to whether you're self-employed, employed, or you have your own limited company. So all people in the UK can claim this. If you're a normal employee, put it on your tax return. It's only £300 a year, but it's a tax write-off. If you're a company, put it through your accounts. In the event you believe your costs for working at home are significantly higher, then you can claim a proportion of your overall running expenses. Now, over the years, revenue used to allow you to claim a proportion of your mortgage interest and all of the operational costs. That's now gone, and that wasn't due to COVID, they just decided to change the rules. Now what they've said is you can claim a proportion of your overall bills. And the way you do this is quite simple. You would just say, look at all of my non-mortgage related costs. So you have your gas, water, electric, oil, service charge, there's all manner of different things you're probably incurring. Collectively add all of that up, and let's just make up a figure. Let's say that is £5,000 a year. So that £5,000 a year, we're now going to test how much of that is relevant for your home office. So how do we do that? If you had, within your property, you had 2 bedrooms and a lounge downstairs, and a dining room. So let's say you had 4 rooms. That's the definition of a room. It's usable room for the home office. It could be any of these 4. What the revenue will then say is, okay, so now you divide that by 4, because you don't spend all of your money in all of the rooms, because you don't work in every room. Even if you move around, you can't claim all 4 rooms. So that is now saying that your annual spend is £1,250, assuming you lived, breathed, didn't move out of that room and worked there permanently, which again is slightly unrealistic. What you've then got to do is say, well, how many of the 30 days of a typical month do I spend working at home? Then how many hours of the day do I work at home as well? So broadly speaking, you're probably going to divide that by 30, then times it by, let's say times it by 20, because you do 20 days a month in the home office. And then you've now all of a sudden moved that down to probably more like £1,000, just to keep an easy number here. But then that £1,000, you've then got to say, well, of the 8 hours of a normal working day, out of a 24-hour day period, how much of that time do I spend working at home? So again, you do 8 divided by 24, so you're now probably down to more like £300 a year. It doesn't take a genius to work out that if that's £6 a week, that's north of £300 a year in a normal working year. Or you claim the actual cost of your running home office. The way to look at this, talk to your accountant, is to see, this is simple and easy, you don't have to have any justification. If it's significantly more than £300 a year, then consider this calculation. If it's only £50, £100 or £150 more, don't bother, too much hassle, the revenue can challenge it. Stay with what you know you're allowed. That's your home office costs.